So we're live streaming right now. I don't know, no one's watching. So, well, for those who will watch later, I'll just be drawing random stuff. And no, I'm just testing out this live stream. So I could see the possibilities, in the future. So yeah, just stay around if you want to learn a few things, or if you can learn anything from me at all. But anyway, I want to draw something. Probably something I've done before. I'm just using this ball pen. This is a little bit of an upshot. Okay, well, I still don't have much idea what to do, but yeah, let's put the muscular guy over here. Probably holding something like a... Yep, to hide some mistakes probably, and put some, like you're tying a few parts. But anyway, this is a draft for something I'll be painting on Sunday, because I'll be doing a chalk art on a Sunday. I don't know if I'll do it on a blackboard, on a plyboard, or I could do it on the very pavement of the street. I've actually done this drawing before. I don't remember what I placed there, but anyway, there's a native guy. So he's holding something like a stick. This is called a head axe. This is used by the Igorot headhunters during the old times to cut off the head of an enemy. I mean, a weakened enemy, because you cannot just swing this around like a weapon. This is not exactly an axe. Which you can use as your offensive weapon. It is actually just used to decapitate the weakened enemy. You need to be an expert to do that, because the handle is actually a thin stick, a thin wooden stick. So anyway, let me locate the legs. Now, of course, during these times, the Igorot outfit has already somehow changed, metamorphosized. And what you will be seeing right now, tourists are seeing right now, outfits are actually modern iterations, mostly very well defined now, like the differences in tribes. It seems like they put a lot of stress on each tribe having different motive. But actually, back in the day, during the time when head hunting was still being practiced by the old tribes, they're just pieces of cloth, and it's not always decorated by those colorful things you see nowadays. Back then, they just, pick up some cloth and tie it up like this. Nowadays, you see a lot of differences. You can already identify from which province somebody comes from just by his outfit and the decorations on his what do you call this? The loincloth wrap around here. They call it bag, but some people call it G-string, but it's hardly that. Anyway, this is so wrong, but this is just a draft of something I'll do, so. Okay. Somehow I'm glad that nobody's watching live. I don't know, but I wish at some point, of course, I'll probably want to interact with people, know what they're thinking of. Okay, I want him to be a little bigger. Now this is in perspective, so I want this a little bigger like that. So as I was saying, let's put the modern touch here. So this triple X sign, and if you see the 3 X's on a loincloth of a male, that means he's from Kalinga. And I don't mean the Kalinga in India, it's a Kalinga in the north of the Philippines. one of the main weapons of the Kalingas is actually a spear. So what they're really using in fighting. Mostly it's a javelin. We'll use a different kind of spear here. This is, and they have this spear which has 3 of these. I don't know what you call it in English. There you go. Sometimes 2, and some they overdo it and more, but they're more for decorations actually. The ones they use in combat will just be like a straight up single blade there, because they usually throw it. Like a javelin. So they carry more than one. And if need be, they will, use it to melee. They will also be carrying a bolo. Okay, but this head axe, this is something that not everybody is carrying on a battlefield. Because, like I said, it's for cutting off heads of weakened enemies or dead enemies. So they hang it around somewhere in the waist, and when they have a chance to cut off an enemy's head, they will do it. They will use it. Okay, so it looks like he's looking too much to the sky. What I want to do is for him to be looking down actually. Okay, so in the final composition I'll be making, he'll have to be looking down. Because the thing is, he's going to fight he's preparing to fight a monster. The monster will be called Damaso monster. Yes, a Damaso monster. I actually got the idea from the Spanish Basajaun. I don't know if that's correct. Basaksaun. Yes, Basaksaun. That monster is not actually a violent monster in the Basque mythology. It is a very helpful giant, helping people build. But the ones they sent in the Philippines back then, they're evil. First they sent Ferdinand Magellan, who unfortunately lost his head by fighting Lapu-Lapu in Cebu. Poor guy, but he did his job and got recognized for his efforts. But I think the Spaniards, they really want to do something with the Philippines. So they sent their Basaksaun. But they are not actually the real Basaksauns or Basajaunak. They were actually Damasos. Now there's no Damaso monster in Spain. They became Damaso monsters here in the Philippines because they disguised themselves as the Basajaunak, acting like they're kind, gentle builders who will help us build our country to become better. But what they did, they tried to reprogram our minds. They conquered us using words and spears and swords and guns. So these Damaso monsters, they are very real monsters. So they're not just mythological. And unfortunately, they still exist in the Philippines. And they're still trying to dictate to us what we should do, even in our politics and everything we do. They want to control us. That's what these Damaso monsters are doing. And during the old times, when the Spaniards are still conquering much of the flatlands in the Philippines, the people from the highlands, they resisted these conquistadors. And yet they tried to bring these treacherous Damasos to the mountains, to try to appease the tribes, so they, the Spanish conquerors can enter and subjugate the lands. They never succeeded, of course, because back then, when Bana was still around, they just could not conquer the highlands. The Igorots made the brave stance. But they kept trying. They kept sending those giant Pasajonaks or Damasos in disguise. And tried to use words to control the minds of the people. Well, as you can see right now, of course, in these modern times, we now know that somehow at some point they actually succeeded. And, nowadays, Damaso is controlling much of the land. But what we're drawing now is the time when there was great resistance and strong warriors from the Igorot tribes. They were unconquered. They were indomitable. Yeah, in the final drawing, I'm going to have to work this out so it would look like he is actually a giant from, that this Damaso monster is actually a giant from far away, trying to come near. And yes, indeed, they are giants. If you know much about the Philippines, you'll understand. These people, these Damasos, they want power. They want control of our land, of our minds, of our people. That's why they're really, really trying hard to control our minds. There they are. Yeah, I'll have to make them look hairy. Right. Sorry, so whoever's gonna watch this, please understand that this is just a test to check out how my live stream is going to work. Okay. So, well, now I know no one's watching now live, but for those who will be watching after the live, please leave a comment down below. This drawing will be re-illustrated. I mean, I'm gonna paint it with chalk on a very large wood panel, plywood probably, on a couple of days from now. That will be a colored one, colored composition. So this will be the hero of the Ulalim, which is a staple story or story. Ulalim is both a storytelling style and a story. It is the epic of Kalinga, which starts Bana. Bana is the name of the hero of the Ulalim. But Ulalim is also a style in storytelling, which is very much like Homer's style of storytelling, which is being sang. So the Ulalim is actually a song, or we could call it a lyrical poetry, wherein the storyteller will be singing the Ulalim, or will be singing the story in creative lyrical fashion. And they usually speak of the many adventures of Banna. Some people call it Banna, some people call him Bana. He's this dashing young man who is like the counterpart of Heracles or Perseus, or and somehow also like Jesus Christ, because he was born of a virgin. So yeah, this one looks ugly, but well, never mind. So this is going to be what I'm going to draw for. What I'm gonna paint on Sunday. Now, I'm not a very well suit out artist when it comes to folklore paintings. If I want to sell a painting, I'll probably do something like a Benguet or something that comes from another tribe, not folklore, but sometimes I want to do something which I have really always wanted to do, which is to tell stories, tell the stories from my tribe, like this Kalinga folklore. It's a very interesting folklore because, how is it possible? Miles apart from Greece, yet we are doing the same things as they've been doing before. And it's not only as a long dead culture, it's actually a living culture which we still do. We are still singing the Ulalim. There's even a festival for it, the Ulalim Festival in Kalinga, where storytellers come around and gather and tell stories in song form, and most of it are the adventures of Bana. There you go. So there's a waterfall there because in Kalinga there's quite a few of these waterfalls, natural waterfalls, because it's actually packed with mountains, and many of its forests are still untouched. So expect to see a few waterfalls if you ever visit the place. See a lot of rolling hills and mountains. Yeah, probably put a lot of orange colors. They're quite ominous, just to depict some violence coming around. Well, the perspective is not enough. These creatures, I think I need to draw them a lot bigger so that when looking at the perspective, they really will look like giants. Or probably I'll draw Bana smaller. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So, yep, I suppose this is it for the draft. In your neck of the woods here in the Philippines or in Baguio City, please come by Session Road on Sunday and watch me paint. And see other people showcasing their talents. Lots of buskers on the streets during those times. I mean every Sundays. And I'm happy to say that I've been one of those who worked hard for such activities to happen on the streets every Sunday, and we're still trying to make headway with busking regulations for the city. But yeah, please do come around if you're here in town. Okay, so okay. So I guess for those of you in the know, I guess you understand what the monster Damaso is pertaining to. I won't mention it. I'm sure you already know. The rest of the Philippines were subjugated by the Spanish colonists back then. Of course, the Igorots, the people from the mountains, the Igorots, and the people in Mindanao, they were not conquered. The thing is, when the Spaniards left the Philippines, there's not a trace of Spanish residences in the mountains. It was the Americans who were able to enter the mountains. They did a few bad things when they bought America from Spain. They bought the Philippines from Spain, and massacred some people, did all their crimes, whatever they did, and they did not try to make war with the mountain tribes, because I don't think they would like that kind of risk. So what they did, they tried to befriend the people of the mountains and sent in their missionaries, just like the Spaniards tried to do by sending in their damasos. And their missionaries, some of them succeeded in infiltrating the Igorot tribes. Of course, I think they were serious about trying to befriend the natives. But there were controversies like those guys who actually took Igorots in America and displayed them as savages in some kind of a freak show. But the Americans were able to infiltrate the mountains, and then when the Japanese came, they tried, but instead of angering the natives, what the Japanese did was they befriended the natives. Even Yamashita made friends with the natives so he can hide among them. And World War II ended with the surrender of Yamashita. Here in the mountains. So, I am living in a place which is very historic and has a lot to do with World War II. Okay, so I think that's it. That's it for this live stream. Probably I'll be doing more live streams as the YouTube allows, but I'll just be doing them for practice because I still do not meet the required criteria for actual live streaming here on YouTube, because I still don't have 1,000 subscribers. So please, if you're watching for the first time, or if you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe and watch us do some rough or refined drawings. We also teach sometimes. By the way, if you're wondering, I am an actual animator. I mean, I was. And some of our members are also into animation. One is actually a teacher in animation and illustration. I'm an actual comic book illustrator. We do offshore projects because there's no comics in the Philippines to work with. So I work with an agent in United Kingdom who brings me work. But anyway, I did work for the anime One Piece back in 2006. I worked there for more than 100 episodes of the anime One Piece and a few other anime, including French animation and a few other stuff. Yeah, Powerpuff Girls Z, I also worked on that and anime for a little. And the Precure Splashy Star, I don't know if that's the right title. That's actually the harder one to animate because characters are wearing this highly decorative dresses and they keep turning around. So yeah, that's it for this live stream. Thank you so much for watching. I mean, future viewers, because no one's watching this live stream. And yeah, I will be uploading the actual video soon of this one. I don't know. Let me try to redraw that head because it's so hard. No. Let's put the proper Kalinga thick eyebrows in there. Okay. Now, Filipinos are known for having a shorter nose, but people of Kalinga, they have the more pointed noses. There, I think I got this right now. There you have it. Yeah, okay, so I think I got this. That's going to be its body. Yes. By the way, in case you're interested to know, this is actually my frame. Well, I mean, it's not, I'm not as chiseled as this one, but I have a very broad shoulder, and some people always, try to convince me to go into bodybuilding because they say I have the genetics for it. I don't know. I'm just, I'd rather refine my hands for artistic pursuits instead of vanity. So, I'm a big fan of Arnold, but I'm not really pining to get that kind of body. So yeah, my broad shoulders. It's making actually my drawing hard because somehow it's very heavy. There you have it. So yeah, that's going to be Bana. All right, so thank you so much for watching. If you're watching in the future of this live stream, and may you have a wonderful time. Please do consider subscribing to the channel. That will help us a lot. And so long.